The afternoon sun reflected off the infinity pool's surface as I arranged cheese and crackers on the patio table. My beach house overlooked the Pacific, waves crashing against rocks 200 feet below the cliff edge. I'd saved for 8 years to buy this place. Every overtime shift at conferences, every weekend spent writing certification manuals, every speaking engagement across the country. The deed had my name alone. Catherine Morrison, National Water Safety Director. Hell of a view, Dad said, stepping onto the deck. He'd arrived an hour earlier with Mom and my younger brother Trevor. Must have set you back what, $500,000? Something like that, I said, keeping my tone light. I'd learned years ago not to discuss finances with my family. They knew I worked in water safety education, but nothing specific. Dad assumed I made maybe $60,000 a year, filing paperwork at some regional office. The actual number was closer to $180,000, managing certification programs for 43,000 lifeguards nationwide, overseeing 11 regional directors, and consulting with the CDC on drowning prevention protocols. Your mother and I have been talking, Dad continued. He pulled a manila folder from his jacket. We're getting older. Need to think about estate planning, asset protection. I set down the platter. Dad, what's this about? He opened the folder. Inside were property transfer documents already filled out, requiring only my signature. We should put this house in the family trust. Protects it from lawsuits, creditors, smart financial planning. My stomach tightened. This house isn't part of any family assets. I purchased it myself, with money from the family, Dad said. His voice had that edge I remembered from childhood arguments. We paid for your college. That degree got you this job. This property is essentially family investment return. You didn't pay for my college, I said quietly. I had scholarships and student loans I finished paying off 2 years ago. Dad's face reddened. We supported you, gave you a place to live during summers. That has value. Mom touched his arm. Richard, maybe we should discuss this later. No? Dad's voice went cold. Catherine, you're being selfish. Your brother needs help with his business startup. Your mother needs medical procedures insurance won't cover. This asset should benefit the whole family. Trevor looked uncomfortable, staring at his phone. Dad, I didn't ask for. Sign the papers, Dad interrupted. He pushed them across the table toward me. Transfer the deed to the family trust. It's the right thing to do. I picked up the documents and tore them in half. No? For a moment nobody moved. Then Dad stood, his chair scraping against the tile. You ungrateful little bitch. Richard, Mom gasped. I stood too, meeting his glare. I think you should leave. He stepped closer, jabbing his finger toward my face. After everything I sacrificed. You live in $1 million beach house while your mother suffers? This house cost $800,000. I bought it with my salary. And Mom's insurance covers her procedures. I checked. I kept my voice level. You want money. This isn't about family or protection. His hand shot out and grabbed my wrist. You're signing those papers. Let go of me. Richard, stop. Mom was standing now, but making no move to intervene. Trevor finally looked up. Dad, come on. Shut up, Trevor. Dad's grip tightened, pulling me toward the table where he'd left a pen. Sign now. I twisted my arm free, stumbling backward. My heel caught the pool's edge. For a terrible second I teetered, arms windmilling, then regained balance. Dad's expression shifted to something I'd never seen before. Pure rage with calculation behind it. Last chance, Catherine. Get out of my house. He lunged forward. His hands hit my shoulders, shoving hard. I fell backward into the pool, the impact driving air from my lungs. I surfaced gasping, chlorine burning my sinuses. Dad, Trevor shouted. I swam toward the shallow end, feet finding the bottom. When I stood, water streaming from my clothes, Dad was at the pool's edge. Transfer the beach house deed, he screamed. Then he jumped in. His hands found my head, before I could react, forcing me underwater. I thrashed, trying to surface, but his weight pressed down on the back of my skull. My face scraped against the pool's textured bottom. This wasn't happening. My father wasn't trying to drown me. I held my breath, counting seconds the way I'd trained thousands of lifeguards. At 30 seconds the urge to breathe became painful. I clawed at his arms. He didn't budge. 45 seconds. My chest spasmed. I could hear muffled shouting above the water. Mom screaming, Trevor yelling. Nobody was pulling Dad off me. 60 seconds. I involuntarily gasped, water flooding my throat. I choked, coughed, inhaled more water. The pool's LED lights blurred into starbursts. 75 seconds. Lungs burning like I'd inhaled fire. Vision tunneling, black creeping in from the edges. My arms stopped fighting, floating limply. 85 seconds. A strange calm settled over me. I was going to die. My own father was murdering me. My last thought was bizarrely professional. This is exactly why we teach the drowning response protocol. 90 seconds. Everything went black. I came to on the pool deck, vomiting water and bile. My throat felt shredded. Someone was crying. Mom, I realized. Trevor was on his phone. Dad stood over me, dripping wet, the torn transfer papers clutched in his hand. Sign them, he said. I couldn't speak, could barely breathe. My vision swam, dark spots dancing. I'll do it again, Dad said. I'll keep doing it until you sign. I looked past him to the pool house. 4 security cameras mounted on the eaves, red recording lights steady. I'd installed them after 2 burglary attempts in the neighborhood. Top of the line system, motion activated, cloud backup. Cameras, I wheezed. Dad's face went white. He spun seeing them for the first time. You recorded. I rolled onto my side, and pulled out my phone from my soaked jeans pocket. Waterproof case, still functioning. With shaking fingers, I dialed 911. My father tried to drown me. I told the dispatcher, I need police and an ambulance. The paramedics arrived in 8 minutes. They found me wrapped in a towel, still coughing up pool water, while Dad paced the deck, and Mom sat frozen in a chair. Trevor had moved to the driveway, clearly wanting no part of what was happening. Pulse ox is 94%, the first paramedic said, clipping the monitor to my finger. We need to transport. Dry drowning risk. I'm fine, I managed. Ma'am, you were unconscious underwater. You need evaluation. The second paramedic examined me with sudden recognition. Wait, are you Catherine Morrison, the National Water Safety Director? I nodded. He turned to his partner. Get the supervisor. This is protocol notification. At the hospital, the ER doctor reviewed my chest X-ray. Fluid in both lungs. You're being admitted overnight for observation. A police officer took my statement, recording every word. Can you estimate how long you were held underwater? 90 seconds. I was counting. You're certain? I've trained 43,000 lifeguard professionals in drowning response timing. I'm certain. The officer's eyebrows rose. You're the national director. Yes, and your father did this. Why? Property extortion. He wanted me to transfer my beach house to a family trust. The officer stepped into the hallway to make a call. Through the gap in the curtain, I saw hospital security posted outside my room. A nurse brought me forms. Occupation, she asked. National Water Safety Director. She stopped writing. You're serious? Yes, my daughter got certified last summer under your standards. She shook her head. Someone tried to drown you. The person who literally wrote the drowning prevention protocols. My father, I said. Yes, she squeezed my hand. I'm so sorry. After she left, I opened my laptop. Despite the shaking in my hands, despite the oxygen tube in my nose, I had work to do. The security system had already uploaded the footage to cloud storage. I downloaded it, watching the video once. Dad approaching, the shove, him jumping in, his hands forcing my head underwater. 92 seconds by the timestamp. My body going limp, him pulling me out, standing over me with those papers. I copied the file, and opened my email. The first message went to my attorney. Attempted murder by family member. Video evidence attached. File charges immediately. The second went to my deputy director. Taking emergency medical leave. You have operational authority. The third went to 11 people. Every regional certification director in my network. Subject drowning protocol notification. National Director assault colleagues. I am writing from the hospital following an attempted drowning by my father during a property dispute at my residence. I was held underwater for approximately 90 seconds until loss of consciousness. Full video documentation exists per our institutional drowning protocol, requiring mandatory notification when safety professionals are victims of water-related violence. I am filing this formal report. Criminal charges are being filed. I will be on medical leave for 1 week. The incident occurred at my privately owned residence. No family member has any legal claim to the property. This was an attempted murder during extortion. Thank you for your continued leadership during my absence. Catherine Morrison, National Water Safety Director. I hit send and closed my laptop as the hospital room phone rang. Catherine, it's James Burton from Pacific Region. His voice was tight with controlled fury. I just saw your email. What do you need? I need the protocol followed, I said. By the book. Consider it done. I'm calling law enforcement in your jurisdiction now. Expert testimony. Whatever you need. Within an hour, all 11 directors had responded. Offers of legal support, testimony, institutional backing. The water safety community was small, protective of its own. An attack on the national director was an attack on everyone. The next call came from the detective handling my case. Miss Morrison, I've reviewed the security footage. We're upgrading charges to attempted murder. Your father's being held without bond pending arraignment. He'll need a public defender, I said. He can't afford a lawyer. He tried to kill you for your house, which I understand is worth over $1 million. 800,000. And yes, Miss Morrison, did your father know what you do? He knew I work in water safety, not my exact position. So he didn't know he was trying to drown the National Water Safety Director. No, the detective was quiet for a moment. That's going to be a really bad day for him in court. The irony won't be lost on the judge. They kept me for 36 hours. Pulmonary function tests, psychological evaluation, oxygen therapy. My deputy director visited, bringing flowers and a card signed by the entire national office staff. The board wants you to know you have unlimited leave, she said, and legal support from the organization's counsel. I'll be back in a week, I told her. Catherine, your father tried to murder you. I know, but the work continues. Drowning prevention doesn't stop because of personal trauma. She smiled sadly. That's why you're the national director. On my release, I drove straight to the beach house. Police tape still crossed the pool area. Active crime scene. I stood at the edge, looking at the water where I'd nearly died. My phone buzzed. A text from Trevor. I'm sorry I didn't stop him. I didn't know he would actually. I'm sorry. I didn't respond. Another text from Mom. Please drop the charges. He's your father. Family should forgive. I blocked her number. The arraignment was scheduled for the following Tuesday. I received a call from the prosecutor. Your father's public defender wants to discuss a plea deal. He's seen the video. What are they offering? 5 years for aggravated assault. No attempted murder charge. No, I said. He held me underwater for 90 seconds. That's intent to kill. The trial will be difficult. Seeing that video. I know, but I want it on record exactly what he did. The prosecutor paused. You're the victim. Your call. We'll proceed to trial. 3 weeks later, I stood before the annual National Water Safety Conference. 11 regional directors sat in the front row. 43,000 certified professionals represented in the audience. My chest still ached when I breathed deeply. I still couldn't sleep without nightmares of drowning. But I was alive. This year we implemented new safety protocols. I began. Enhanced training for recognizing drowning victims. Updated response procedures. Stronger institutional support for professionals facing violence. The applause was immediate, sustained. I waited for it to fade. Some of you know what happened to me last month. For those who don't, my father attempted to murder me by drowning at my home. I survived because of the very training we provide. The 90-second response protocol we teach saved my life, because I knew exactly what was happening to my body. The room was utterly silent. I'm telling you this because drowning isn't just a recreational hazard, it's a weapon. And when we train people to prevent it, we're not just saving strangers, we're protecting ourselves, our colleagues, our community. After the speech, the Pacific Region Director approached. His trial is next month. Yes, every regional director wants to be there. We want the judge to see the institutional response. I nodded, not trusting my voice. The trial lasted 3 days. The jury watched the 90-second video in complete silence. My father's attorney tried to claim it was a disciplinary action gone wrong, that he panicked and held me too long. The prosecutor played the video again, pausing at the timestamp. 70 seconds. The defendant's daughter has gone limp. He continues holding her underwater. 80 seconds. 85. 90. 92 seconds total. Then he pulls her out and demands she sign property papers. The jury deliberated for 93 minutes. Guilty on all counts. At sentencing, the judge asked if I wanted to make a statement. I stood. 11 regional directors sat behind me in the gallery. My colleagues, my witnesses, my proof that I'd built something real, something valuable, something worth defending. Your Honor, I said, my father tried to murder me for a house he never owned, never paid for, never had any legal claim to. He held me underwater until I lost consciousness. I survived because of protocols I helped create, training I helped develop, and a community that protected me when my own family wouldn't. I looked at my father. You wanted my beach house. Instead, you'll spend the next 20 years drowning in the consequences of your choices, one day at a time. The judge sentenced him to 18 years. I drove back to the beach house alone. The pool company had drained and refilled it. New water, new start. I stood at the edge, looking at my reflection in the surface. Tomorrow I'd return to work. Next month, I'd speak at the International Lifeguard Conference. Next year, I'd publish updated drowning prevention protocols. But tonight I'd just stand here, breathing, alive. The National Water Safety Director, who survived the very thing she'd spent her career preventing. My house, my career, my life, all of it mine.